In The Aftermath, the fourth episode of Season 7 of the Chi, the characters struggle with the consequences of their decisions, which causes tensions to rise and alliances to change. When Victor and Emmett question Douda's authority, they suffer the repercussions. They now have to deal with the risky fallout from their choices, which have put them in vulnerable situations. As the confrontations escalate, Keisha worries more and more for the safety of her family. Given the increasing dangers in their neighborhood, Jada and Darnell take preventative measures to safeguard their loved ones. Alicia asks Bianca for a favor, revealing her calculated actions to offset the threats Douda and his cronies represent. The intricacies of loyalty, power conflicts, and the extent people will go to protect their family and establish dominance in a dangerous setting are all explored in this episode. After a brief time jump in which the city of Chicago finds a special equilibrium, the Chi's Season 7 Episode 3 resumes. With the exception of the family issues that both expectant mothers face, Keisha and Tiff's pregnancy is going well. Under Alicia's tutelage, the latter continues to find her footing as the former copes with the realities of a swiftly expanding family with Emmett. Many faces, meantime, are thinking about accepting a new future outside of the city. But the return of one specific person to the streets poses a threat to completely upend everything. Therefore, Nuck's claim to the mob's figurative throne may be in jeopardy if this unexpected person from Jake's past makes a comeback. Many things in the city appear to have altered in the 6 months since Douda's death. Because of his developing friendship with Tiff, Nuck, who is now in charge of his mob, is friendly with Alicia. They are unaware that his acts of goodwill are merely expressions of his remorse for having a direct hand in Rob's demise. However, it appears that Nuck's concerns will not end with this deadly secret. While he and the others are busy attending Tiff and Keisha's joint baby shower/gender reveal celebration, an old friend of sorts shows up at Jake's door. It turns out that Regg, his brother, is still alive. When he found himself on Douda's bad side in Season 2, he died. Jake, his younger brother, was immediately impacted by Regg's departure from the story and ultimately found himself straying under the wing of his older brother, Victor. But it seems like he has been alive the entire time. No one ever saw his body, even though it was assumed that he had died. So he departed the city, leaving his eyes and ears behind, while others made snap judgments about his fate. Given that Douda is now dead and buried, he is therefore prepared to return without fear for his life. But it appears that this time, his goals go beyond mere survival. It appears that Regg intends to take Jake with him when he executes his well-defined plan to unseat Nuck as the mob's leader. However, considering all that the mob boss has done to secure his position, he is not going to surrender easily. However, the combination of Rob's death and Regg's return seems to portend disaster for Nuck in the future. Pastor Zeke, First Lady Tatiana's husband, has concluded their divorce in the months following the scandal surrounding her relationship with Jake. As a result, Charles is now in the background as he returns to managing his flock once the dirt has been swept under the carpet. As he continues to caution people against the sins of the flesh, his recent lectures appear to be specifically directed at them. Behind closed doors, though, he is considering an unmarried, scandalous relationship with a white woman. His right-hand man advises Charles to be on guard if he unintentionally learns of this affair because his immoral behavior might cause their megachurch to fail. However, it appears that Zeke is not concerned about any potential threats to his reputation at this time. On the other hand, his sermons continue to have an impact on the community, for better or worse. Two attendees, Jamal and Dom, have their own conclusions from his most recent sermon on premarital sex. They have both tried to maintain celibacy despite their recent relationship, so Zeke's insistence on finding one's path through committed partnership forces Jamal to think about getting married. While they both hope their relationship will succeed, the added benefit of guilt-free sex undoubtedly contributes to their impromptu decision. Maisha had previously stated that she wanted to leave Chicago in order to give her relationship with Kevin a serious chance in Los Angeles. Additionally, her photography education would greatly benefit from the change of location. She isn't the only one who has huge intentions, it turns out. Following their brief liaison, Brittany and Gemma continue to collaborate on songs while still establishing themselves as up-and-coming musicians. They eventually have the opportunity to present their work to Ollie, a producer in New York who unavoidably has some notes for the up-and-coming performers. In order to fully pursue their craft, Ollie advises them to relocate to New York with the assistance of a label. The two decide to take this step even though it's significant. Consequently, Gemma bids farewell to Jake, who will always have a particular place in her heart even though he is no longer her true love. Marcus, the father of the ambitious musician, is also forced to think about making a large shift for himself because of this important life decision. The father, who recently ended a relationship, is nonetheless worried about his daughter's future. For the same reason, he understands that he could want to follow her to the new city in order to remotely monitor her.